Okay, I'll just take a minute here to say how crazy this is. I know that we live in the world of AI now, so everybody probably just thinks it's totally normal, but dear God, completely wild. I don't know how to code, but apparently, thanks to AI, I don't need to. I can simply vibes code anything that I want to create. So today I thought I would put that to the test by building my very own to-do list app. By vibes coding my very own to-do list app in just 10 minutes. To do this, I'm going to use VS Code, Visual Studio, which is a super simple coding environment that anybody can download. And I'm going to use Zencoder, which is a tool that sits right in there and does all of the hard work for you by telling you exactly what to do. Think I can do it? Let's start the clock. Okay, so here we are, and we are in VS Code. So I am just going to head over to Zencoder. Let's hit new chat. I want to create a to-do list app that I can use in my browser. Where should I start? Okay, so here is giving me a whole heap of instructions, as you can see. So define the requirements. I think I know what I want for my to-do list app. Choose your technology stack. HTML, CSS, and JavaScript are essential for using the interface. Backend optional. Okay, so I do not want to store my task persistently. It's something that I just want to use on the day. So I don't think I'm going to need the backend for now. Install Visual Studio Code, already done. So I'm going to need an HTML file, a CSS file, and a JavaScript file according to Zencoder. So let's start with index.html. Now I have already created a folder. Name the folder quickly. To-do list and create file. We are also then going to create a CSS file. So style.css. Okay, so as you can see, Zencoder has told me the different files that I need to set up. Now, I did the naming conventions for HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I did already know, so I've just used that. It would obviously be able to tell me. So next up, I'm going to ask it to write my HTML. So write the HTML code for the to-do list app. It should have a box where I enter the items on my list. Okay, so here you can see Zencoder is writing my app for me. I'll just take a minute here to say how crazy this is, that you can just do this. I know that we live in the world of AI now, so everybody probably just thinks it's totally normal, but dear God, I think this is just completely wild. Great, okay, so we got that. We are going to hit, okay, now give me the CSS. I want a cool orange gradient background. Now, I do know that CSS is the styles, so I obviously could have asked that as well. I want a cool orange gradient background and all my text to be Helvetica. Helvetica obviously being the coolest font, as everybody knows. Okay, and as you can see, it's given me the CSS. It's also given me an explanation of what's going on here. So I'm just going to copy that. I'm going to drop it in here and I'm going to hit save. Now give me the JavaScript. Each list item have a check box next to. Okay, so I've now asked it to give me the JavaScript, which is kind of like the interactivity. I know this isn't really a tutorial, but just so that you guys know, JavaScript is the bit that actually does stuff. HTML is the framework, CSS is what it looks like, and then the JavaScript is the interactivity. So it's written it for me. I'm going to drop it in. I'm going to hit save. Now let's just run it and see what happens, shall we? Here you go. And so already, without me making any changes, this is pretty cool. So let's say task 1, add task. Now it has not given me a checkbox. My items don't have check boxes next to them. Okay, let's ensure the JavaScript code is correctly integrated into your HTML file. Okay, so we're just going to copy this and update the HTML. Okay, let's hit save. Okay, so let's see if that's improved anything. And now it's got the orange gradient as well. Task 1. Okay, so now it's not letting me add the task. It's not. we've just asked Zencoder to take a look at the HTML, and let's try again. Task 1, add task, and there we go. And now I can check it off, and it's even done a strike through for me as well. So pretty awesome. I think we can say that I have done it, and the clock is just about to run out. As you can see, I have now created my to-do list app that I can use every day, and I can just run it on my browser from my laptop running locally to add in my little list items. Pretty cool. I'm now just going to play around with it to see what else I can tidy up on here, because as you can see, it's looking a little bit shabby. So I want to just get these boxes tightened up a little bit and maybe add some other features. So let's see how we get on. But the task has been done. I actually didn't notice because I don't really know how to code, but the CSS items were actually included in the HTML. So here I'm just going to adjust the task input section. There we go. Hit save, and then let's try again. So here's another interesting feature of Zencoder that I haven't discussed yet, which is that you can, on any given section of the code, if you're a novice like me, you can hit this little button here and it will explain what's going on. So here you can see it's pulled out that little bit of code. Here it is breaking down what this piece of code is. So I've hit it a little bit too early, so it's caught the unclosed bracket here, but don't worry too much about that. So here you can see it's just explaining every single different bit about the code that I have asked it for. For someone like me who understands some very basic principles about coding but is by no means a professional, this is super useful. So I'm going to hit save on this one, and then going to go back to my to-do list. I've set it to 40% now. Let's see if it works. It's not working. This is why. So now it's given me the task item code, so let's just update that. Hit save. Aha, okay. So it took a little bit of wrangling, but I sort of managed to figure out the problem was that the CSS seemed to be inside the HTML as well. Okay, so now I have asked to have some confetti go off when I tick off my items. Now this is a little bit more ambitious. Let's see how it handles it. I'm now going to update the JavaScript, and it's telling me exactly where I need to add this script section, so it goes in the head of my code. Okay, so another little bit of debugging that Zencoder has again helped me with, but I have asked it to find some confetti, add it to my code for my to-do list, and so let's check out if it works. Task 1. Woo! Okay, excellent. Okay, so as you can see, it has worked. That's it for me. So if you want to vibes code like me, make sure you check out Zencoder and make sure to hit that subscribe button to be kept up to date with all the latest in AI.